Hey everybody, this week on Breaking Glass, we talked to our good friend Patty, and we got a new puppy, and we talk about the virus and all the crazy stuff happening.
And the puppy's name is Roxy. That's how we introduce people with their names.
Oh, she don't know.
But anyway, and we're going to talk about Corona, catch up on Corona. We're going to give you a little stuff about one of our favorite news providers in Glass is back on the scene. And
Yeah, and we got our first lady. So
we have the first lady of Breaking Glass on the show.
It's cool. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
See you soon.
See you.
Hey, everyone. Here we are for another episode of Breaking Glass, a podcast for glass blowers by glass blowers. My name's Kevin Beecher, and with me, as always, is Josh Mazzei.
Hey, everybody.
And this week, we got a very special guest, our first female, Patty.
Hey.
Patty Hess. What do you like to go by?
Patty's cool.
Just Patty?
Yeah,
you don't
Patty
want to
Melt.
give
Some
any
people
I
Patty
heard you
Melt?
really like going by Patricia. Is that true?
Some people call me Patricia. You were one of those people. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
So, but you are Patty Melt on Instagram.
Yeah, that's my Instagram.
Patty.melt.
Patty.melt.
Yeah.
Well, she is one of our rock stars at Melt. She was with us from
year one.
Yeah, year one.
Oh,
She
yeah.
started off as an intern, and she just kind of shined super hard, and now she's pretty much
She's a general in the army.
yeah, general in the army. She helps make it all happen.
Yeah.
But she came down from Philly this week to kind of brave the Corona thing with us. You know, we're kind of locked in, and we basically
More
feel we
like
get some work
just
done.
get out of Philly
Yeah.
because it's getting a little weird over
Yeah.
there. But it's nice being in the middle of the woods with you guys. So
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
we're safe out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week we're gonna start while we're all quarantined, we're gonna start a new segment in the show. It'll be our pandemic cocktail. And this week, me and Patty decided to try a version of a brass monkey, but using Corona Premier and orange juice. And
I'm sticking to the Corona Premier because I don't like juice a whole lot. So yeah, I know that sounds weird, but
a proper brass monkey, I've always think is about 12. It's a 12 ounce pour, and then 4 ounces of orange juice. I like to use a pint glass and a 12 ounce beer. Are these bottles 12 or 16?
16.
Oh, they're
right?
12.
Oh, they're
So
12?
yeah, they're 12.
Okay.
So this should add perfect mix as long as you take care and don't pour too large of a head on this. Sometimes I actually I cheat it just a little bit and
That's what I do.
Chug the rest.
chug the rest. God, it'd be great if you guys had some thoughts or tell us about your feelings on brass monkeys, like you were talking about
Right?
minutes ago.
Well, you say
Maybe you
that's
could just drop that
you say
into
that's
this
what the
segment.
song's from the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, Beastie Boys.
That's
song.
what that's about?
That's about Old E and orange juice.
So
Drink.
we just learned this. I just thought it was brass monkey.
Oh,
It
you-
sounded cool.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
know that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I didn't know what a brass monkey.
That's what a brass monkey is, and of course those guys were drinking.
Was that the classic brass monkey though, with the old English?
It's Old English
Or-
and it's Old English and orange
Well,
juice for a
Wonder what
classic
people
brass
use.
monkey.
I said I saw last summer. I saw you start ordering beers, and you were getting a little splash of orange juice in
Yeah.
them, and I was just like, ugh. I'm not a big juice person in general.
I went back to Oregon, and my buddy that works at Trader Joe's got me into something that he was calling Tangiers, and
That's what you're saying.
it's a Trader Joe's sells tangerine juice, and it's amazing. And then we'd take a local beer called a Rainier. That's a real inexpensive beer. It's like our just cheap beer out there, Rainier beer.
That's what it was. I think.
Yeah,
you were talking about.
that's what. Yeah, it has a famous commercial out there
Yeah.
with the motorcycle. You know that's.
No, I don't.
And all the commercial. When you're a kid, every kid knew this Rainier commercial because the whole commercial is just Rainier beer. It's just a guy, and that's the commercial. Anyway, so we were drinking Tangiers, and so I just came up with a great idea for this week's giveaway. Patty is, of course, an amazing marble maker. She is putting this gorgeous dichroic galaxy marble up on the block, and we need a name for our cocktail. And so the best name in the comments on the Instagram post, the best name for this cocktail is going to win the contest. And
I love that.
Yeah, and we're also gonna dirty the waters by telling you our names. What have you been calling it?
What was it? The CoronaMosa?
CoronaMosa. And even though mine is a mouthful, I'm going with the 12. I'm going with 12 brass monkeys because 12 monkeys is an apocalyptic future, and it also doubles with the brass monkey. So I'm going with the 12 brass monkeys.
I don't have one.
Yeah, but you don't
I didn't think about it, so I'm sorry.
That's right. Oh, but you don't have to have one. We'll let people name.
can't win the
But
medal
next
then.
week, me and Kevin will come up with a new pandemic.
Maybe I'll
cocktail.
pour one super foamy and call it the Walking Head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I like that. So anyway, well, first we'll give this a little test.
Oh, cheers!
Cheers.
Even though I'm not drinking your juice.
That's it.
Yeah,
What do you guys think of it?
it's really good. It's more like a mimosa because
It does taste more like
the
a mimosa.
Corona is such a light beer. Normally, the whole thing with the brass monkey is that it's taking away the cheap beer flavor. But because Premier and Michelob Ultra are both pretty light, this really tastes almost like
kind of cheap though either.
Well, I mean, it's just like it doesn't have a bad flavor to it. It's actually more crisp, just a champagne kind of mimosa.
It
It's
is
actually
nice.
really good. These are really great drinks in the summer. I tell you, like in the summer, having these, it's just on a hot day
you
with
get
a
your
little
vitamin
bit.
C.
Yeah, you get a little vitamin C. It sweetens up the beer, nice and cold. I highly recommend them, especially a summer drink. But
I was
Yeah,
just happy
so-
we found that shandy today.
Yeah,
that
totally.
summer shandy. I can't pronounce it, but only
Is that
comes
the
around-
I don't know the name.
Leinenkugels?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
whatever.
there you go.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
sister, that's how she
I like
drinks
that stuff.
hers. She drinks the Leinenkugels with orange juice or whatever, and she loves that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, like I said, something about any kind of juicy. I don't know. I don't like any kind of fruit juice.
yeah, if you're not into fruit juice, that's not going to be
Orange
your thing.
juice I can handle. I can
Yeah.
drink a little orange juice in the morning.
I love orange
coffee
juice.
or something. But
It's my favorite juice, probably. And then I like good cranberry juice that's not over sweetened.
yeah, I wish I did.
Well, again, everybody, let's come up. Give us a good name for our Corona and orange juice
You get to
cocktail.
win her sweet marble.
And you're gonna win this sweet marble. I want at least 10 suggestions in those comments. You can enter multiple times, different suggestion for each comment. And hey, just a reminder: if you're watching the show, if you like Breaking Glass and what you're seeing, please hit that like button right now and go ahead and subscribe. All of that helps us out and keeps us lets us know that you want to have more Breaking Glass coming your way.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
So-
Keep the questions coming.
Yeah, so next on the kind of itinerary is, we know everybody's out there kind of probably in that social distancing, kind of staying at home. And yeah, just like kind of maybe just a little recap for what we've all been going through or anything new that you're seeing that glassblowers are dealing with. How about you, Patty? Patty came from the city. What do you...
And they shut you down.
Yeah, I have a few different jobs blowing glass, and all of them kind of shut down, except for like my own personal studio. So we're all trying to kind of figure out how to get by. Like the full-time glass blowers that I work with are like, well, we can't blow glass because hot shops like aren't really running right now. If they are, they're like personal studios. And as far as like pipe makers, they're just like friends around Philly. They're just trying to sell stuff right now, but like people aren't really buying stuff.
Well,
you
see,
know?
I saw. I mean, I've been home. I've been on the internet a lot. So I've been on Facebook a lot, just reading people's posts. A lot of people I'm seeing, like on Torch Talk, they're saying they're selling shit like mad.
Really?
They said that people are just like at home and they got nothing to do and they need pieces and they're just people are just sitting online. And I saw quite a few. Some people were saying, "Oh, it's going to get rough," but then I see a lot of people like, "Oh, my sales are doing so great. I'm selling pieces like every other day." And it's just like people
Well,
are
that's
buying.
That is awesome.
It's
Those
probably
are
the
mostly
time-
functionals, right?
Well, you see a
Maybe,
lot of
yeah.
people putting deals up. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh, it's
Deal
like-
Central.
yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, coronavirus special," you
Yeah.
know. It's like people are just selling. So I don't know. I mean,
I'm telling you, it's like what I was saying in the last week's episode. I said that's potentially one of the effects here is that everybody's going to get super comfortable online selling to people. And it's just right when they thought the shops were kind of making a position to come back and start being like a big factor. This kind of I think it could set it back a little bit. I mean, but yeah, because the opportunities are. But I also think there's only a window of how long that can last.
But also,
if this goes
shops
on
have
for,
online stores too.
yeah, totally. It's
well,
great.
I see a lot of
there's
people doing that.
opportunity.
I mean, I saw Lauren from Smoke
Yeah.
Signals like
Putting deals
he's
up
like, "Oh
and-
no, well they're just doing they're switching. They're trying to do a lot of stuff online now." So
yeah, well, proactive, good business people who can do well right now. There's always some opportunity because people want stuff.
I've spent way too much time on the internet. I'm ashamed of myself.
I mean,
I don't
we
even
all
want to see.
have, you
Yeah, I don't
know,
want to
during
see
all
my
this.
like clock logger thing that keeps track. I'd hate to
yeah.
see what
I
it actually
don't
tells
think-
me because
I
it's
never
gonna be
actually-
I
like.
don't want nothing to do with that.
I never gave it the green light to clock my stuff. I was
Well,
like,
they
I
just
don't
they
wanna-
just keep track of how much screen
Yeah,
time
yeah.
you put on.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? They might be watching you. What
Oh,
are they gonna
probably.
see?
Probably.
Yeah,
It's me with my tongue.
your
out.
O face.
But it's just one of those things. I've taken this time. I've purged a fucking shit ton of people off
Off
my
of
Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
And I mean, I have,
Mainly for political,
it's
right?
all political. I kind of jumped anybody that was just putting crazy political stuff up. I deleted my own sister. I deleted like a lot of good friends.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even discriminative towards. I was just basically, if you're putting politics up there, I don't want to see.
Just don't
it.
even. That's
So,
not why I go there.
There's a couple people that might be upset with me once they find out that I blocked them. I didn't block them. I actually just defriended them, so they could reapply. But I'm I'm just sick of seeing the politics.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like to see that stuff all day, Dan. I watch enough news, so. But
what I did notice about people in Philly, like art friends, they're like everyone's making art right now, especially like people that aren't glass, because some people are running out of oxygen and all that. But people that make art are making a shitload of art.
You say people are running out of oxygen, but aren't they still making deliveries and stuff?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. It's just, I think it's just like so overcrowded right now that everything's just kind of moving slow.
Well, that's a good thing you brought up, because I've been seeing a lot of that online. A lot of people asking that question, like especially on Torch Talk. Like, oh, can I get my oxygen delivered? And like some people are like, certain states, they're like, some people are pretty sporadic where they live and places like that, and they were saying that oh, well, my company's only delivering, like said, hospitals take priority, and like I was like, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it's not the same kind of gas. I didn't think.
Well, it's not. I think it's a bullshit scheme by the oxygen companies. They say that there's like medical grade, and then there's commercial grade. What we get would be commercial grade. I tell you, my gut is that all that oxygen is medical.
I think it might be the same, but the bottles are more regulated.
Yeah,
for
maybe.
the medical oxygen.
Totally. Yeah, maybe.
I know we got a fresh
stuff,
tank Monday.
Yeah.
Yesterday after morning they showed up, and I called him. He's like, "Oh yeah, no problem. We'll be right out."
Yeah,
and then they
really
showed
easy,
up, and
so.
they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, you can still get it, but it's just.
Yeah.
I think everything's just a little bit slower.
It sounds like your group shop situation, and like we were talking about Deb. I saw her post about it. Like she was like questioning whether to go into the shop. I still feel. I mean, again, I don't want anybody to do anything they're not comfortable with, but I'm still an advocate of like working in a lamp working studio. You probably have 6 foot from your partner.
Yeah.
You really work with your stuff. Nobody should be using your blowpipe and stuff like that. It's relatively safe opportunity to go do some work if you want to.
I've said many times with you. I mean, we work in the shop together all the time.
Yeah.
We're in the shop all the time. If he's getting it, I'm getting it.
Right.
Yeah, that's
if I get it, he's getting it. Darren's probably gonna get it. I mean, there again, I live with my wife that does this stuff day in, day out, and she's probably safer than all of us.
Yeah,
even,
she probably
She said
sure.
she's like, I don't want to get it from you guys. And I was like,
Yeah.
But we don't really leave. I mean, we go out and get some necessary supplies.
I have less contact with people than she does, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, she has to go do it, but she wears a full suit and gets all decked out and all that crap. But I told her, I was like, I'm probably gonna get it from you. If I'm gonna get it from anybody, it's gonna be from you.
I'm just glad Red showed up. I thought we were gonna have to be like, okay, Red, you come in, set up the show. We won't be in the room. Then you can leave. We'll come in and just sit down and record.
I just feel we're not exposing ourselves to other people. We're not out doing a bunch of shit. We're pretty much together.
Yeah.
Where are we gonna get it from? I mean, unless we get it from pushing the shopping cart or something like that. But we're gonna get it from that.
Yeah. We sprayed that
Yeah,
shit
we're
down
wiping
today. That
everything
thing
down
got wiped
today.
down.
Well, that's what yesterday my wife called me from work, and she's like, one of the new guidelines that the CDC sent out was if you get a package in the mail and it's a cardboard box, she's like, leave the box leave it sit outside for 24 hours. Yeah. So like I got a package yesterday for my dogs, that flea and tick medicine. I was like, I let it sit out every night. I was just like, really? I was like, but that doesn't make sense. It's like, because the mail guy is delivering your mail. I was like, that's paper. It's just like, she's like paper product, paper.
Well, they're probably wearing gloves on everything. A postman are.
Still,
right
it's going to be touching 20 other
I'd
people.
be more worried about it surviving like on one of those plastic priority mail bags or like anything.
Apparently,
like
it survives on the cardboard for a long time because the paper just kind of sucks it. I don't.
Yeah.
There again, I don't know. I listen to what she says, but half of it's in and out. So,
yeah, like last week I was just going to my house in the studio, and that was it. And like, there's only a few different people that go into my studio, and just like I was a little anal about it, like wiping down all the knobs and everything, and like the tank knobs, and like it felt like it was pretty
on there.
cool.
I saw on Torch Talk, a lot of people were saying, they were like, "Oh, I share a shop with 4 other guys, and we made it a point where we all take rotations."
Yeah,
and
sure.
they were
That's
like,
not a
and then
bad
like
idea.
each person that leaves that time is responsible for wiping everything down with like they have Clorox wipes or whatever. And I was like, well, I mean, but if you spend that much time with these people on a daily basis, I mean, and you're not, if you're quarantining and you're quarantining together, I mean, it's no different than a family living together.
Totally, yeah.
And it's pretty much what we are. We're like basically big old
Just
family
like
just
a
kind of
family
hanging out.
Yeah, that's how I kind of think. I'm not at any more exposure with the number of people that we are than
You have to
anybody
go
is in a
out.
family. And again, most of our group is not super out. I mean,
like I said, we go out for necessity. We have to go out. We went out and got beer, and we have to go out and get some food. But we stocked up on a lot of food. But you still have to go out at some point to get certain things.
for sure.
Some things run
gas
out.
and stuff.
Yes.
And
Yep.
So I don't know. But I still think we're doing better than
Yeah,
Did you see the videos from the Daytona spring break? The kids and spring break?
that jackass who's like,
there was, like,
I'm
they
partying.
interviewed,
I've been planning this for months. I'm here to party.
They interviewed like
Oh my
20
God.
kids in this like interview, and like all these kids, like, yeah, I'm just here hanging with my friends. Like, oh, we're not afraid. We might get it. We're gonna get it. There's other ways to die, and like they just.
But
didn't
it's
get,
not about you. It's about the old people that
Yeah.
you care about.
that is,
and
but that's what
there's,
they
there's
weren't
other
getting.
factors, but
Well, that came out yesterday that
Yeah.
they said that after they closed the beaches and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, now I forget who knows what the numbers are now, but that first day they said there was like 5 or 6 cases from those kids.
Yeah.
and then that's gonna grow.
That's just gonna explode. Yeah.
exponentially. It's
Well, they
gonna-
were also saying that Mardi Gras might have been a place where a lot of this happened.
Yeah, that was
Because that was actually one of the last big major events, and then some of the people that like had it in Washington had been to New Orleans, and New Orleans is now it's like one of the third big
Yeah.
epicenters of it all. So those big gatherings, you just don't see the impact until later. And if I won't be surprised if in 2 weeks you see all those kids
we're
coming
gonna
back.
be like here's some more stats. My wife says about I think I don't know where we're at in Franklin County where we live, but there was like six or 7 cases like this morning. Total. So total, but
There
she
was
said
none
there was
3
like
days ago.
But she said there was like 900 tests out. So there's pending tests because the test takes so long. When
Yeah.
she does a test, it happens like overnight because, like I said, she only tests like healthcare workers
Yeah.
and people that she goes to their houses. She's not doing the general testing. She's doing all the people that like need to be tested and get their results back because she gets her results back within 24 hours. But there again, there's hundreds of people that have been tested, and they could, half of them could come back positive. We don't know.
Yeah.
The flu is huge right now, and a lot of people are mistaking this for the common
people
flu.
are getting the flu too. Yeah.
Well, the flu is she said it was one of their worst years for flu this year, which was kind of crazy because I didn't really see too many people that had it personally.
Yeah, flu always flies under my radar because I don't get the flu very often, and
I generally
and I
do.
don't. And I go, I'd probably.
I mean, I did get that. I did get that Vegas thing when I got back from.
Oh no.
When I got back from Las Vegas, I got sick for 3 days.
Yeah, and it wasn't that.
That's the
Not
wolf
like-
flu.
not like
last
you.
year.
Not like it didn't hit you as hard as it had in previous
Last
years.
year, it destroyed me.
Wolf flu is different though. Than
It
the
is.
actual flu.
You see a lot of people posting that too. It's like, I got that shit. I'm immune.
Yeah.
It's like, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's different.
So, what else do you got to say about the coronavirus? Anything?
Well, one of the things, of course, we talked about. We talked a little bit about it, but of course, we're always binging stuff, and this has been prime time binging going on all the
Everybody's just
on the
home.
streaming channels. The one thing that that's kind of blowing up out there right now that I actually watched all. I watched and I rewatched the first episodes with you guys again last night.
Oh shit.
Is Tiger King.
So,
And Justin, and shout out to Justin Gallant because he did actually initially send
well,
me
he did
that.
it like right away.
Yeah, he watched. He was an early viewer of it, and he sent a message said, "You guys got to check this out." And I have to tell you, it was one of those. Yeah, it was like one of those train wreck type of things. You couldn't turn your eyes away. Every character introduced just got crazier and crazier, and I don't know.
It's pretty. I mean, we're watching it last night, and we're up at like episode 5. You watched it all, but me and you haven't. And I'm just like, how does this keep? I mean, where do they keep going with this? Like, how is this guy?
just when you think like, oh, now
It
they're gonna
just gets
wrap it up,
crazier.
it just gets crazier.
and like, how do they make that much money? How are they making $90,000 a month to pay to feed these taggers?
Well, it's like, first of all, he's not. He's with all the Walmart meat. His bill's way low, and then on top of it all, he just sells. I mean, they
How
make
is it even
so
legal
much.
by the government to have 250 taggers on a property?
It's totally legal. There's states where it's not. That's like that. They do talk about that. Like Ohio has passed a law, but there are more lions and tigers in Texas than there are in the wild.
that woman, the woman that has the big game thing.
Yeah.
she's got to be guilty. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
she's
It's
the
guilty
worst.
as guilty
She
can be.
totally killed her husband for sure. You can see they have tons of interview footage with her, and she's always kind of very scripted. And then when they ask her about her husband,
then she gets all
her
nervous.
eyes close and she looks down and
And she
it's,
does that whole OJ response, like,
it's like,
like,
whoa,
it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, she did it.
Totally. And I didn't really like her vibe right from the beginning. I thought she seemed like one of those kind of pretentious, social warrior type of people. And then as you
then she's
see,
full
like
of shit.
her system is just what they're doing. And if anything, it just seems like she wants to absorb everything that they have and then be the last like one of the guys said, just the last person
Well,
standing.
then they throw that random freaky dude and it has like 8 wives.
Oh, the guy. Oh,
and
yeah.
he is just the most bizarre
He's just a
motherfucker.
cult leader.
I mean, they're all crazy, but he
Yeah.
is just like Jim Jones crazy.
Oh yeah, that's a straight cult that he's running there.
and
That
I
is
mean,
a
I
total
just
cult.
was like, wow. And they kind of just throw him in there. He's not really part of that other.
But he's part of the big cat scene
Yes.
as a national celebrity, like you said. He was on Jay Leno and Letterman. He's in Congress with bringing the cats, you know.
Yeah, and he's an odd looking dude, and he has all these beautiful women around him, and they're all just like sucked into it. Like, oh my
yeah,
god.
well, like the one woman that got out of it. It's like they're afraid. At that point, they get in. He gets them so young, gets them so dependent. They're supported, and then they feel like they have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They give up their name and everything. It's cult it is a cult. It is give up your name. I'm going to rename
They
you.
change your name.
You're going to have this intimate connection with me that you. Oh, it's great. He's really one of the scarier
Well,
ones.
he's a creepy
Yeah.
motherfucker.
He
The
is.
other guy, the main
Joe.
Joe.
Joe's somebody that you would probably love. You would like him. You'd be like, "Oh, I fucking love Joe," but he's a fucking nutball.
So we're up on episode 5. We haven't finished yet, so I mean, there's no spoiler.
Yeah.
For us, I mean,
Well, I won't.
you could say whatever,
I,
but
no,
I mean,
I wouldn't.
we're not gonna be able to give anything away at the end. But it kind of seems like I feel like where we're at, they're kind of setting him up. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it seems like they're baiting him into like stuff and like kind of like trying to make him like offer to pay. So
So,
like, oh, just
yeah.
give me $5 for a deposit. Like, dude, that's not.
Yeah, that's
But, like,
entrapment.
you pull $5 out as a joke, and
Yeah.
you're like, but they're all, no, that's the money. He put the money down.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know. I don't know where we're
and
at.
they're
with
all
it.
involved. They're all saying the same thing. Yeah, it's the story. It's crazy that it. I just kept thinking like it was going to be over, but they'd always have one more.
But he's an eccentric son of a bitch. I mean,
Yeah.
when he was doing those campaign ads, holy shit!
Yeah.
I can't imagine
Can't
running
believe
for
that was
president.
real.
And he's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna run for governor." And he's like, "I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck." And it was like, wow.
yeah,
He's telling it like it is. But you'd have Trump supporters probably like, "Fuck yeah, grab him by the pussy. I don't give a fuck." That's pretty much what they say.
yeah. It's but definitely a treat. Tiger King for anybody out there. I made the mistake of I didn't make the mistake of it. I actually enjoyed it, but I did watch Outbreak again the other day, early in the morning for breakfast. I was just making breakfast and ended up watching Outbreak. And I kept wanting to like video the screen, like crazy shit be going on. I was like, oh, I should take a video of this on my phone and be like, look what they're doing in our state. But I didn't because
There's the Contagion. That's another one.
Oh,
you could watch.
Contagion is such a cool one because it is like a real true story of how a pandemic spreads out from the world. And it's like very loose storylines that they bring together and it just jumps, but it's like, and it probably happens over the course of 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
And it's like everything from the initial outbreak to the growth to the catching.
Well, that's probably what Trump watches. You know,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
probably thinks that's like, oh, this is what's going on.
Oh yeah.
You know, we started the conversation last week and we did jump, but so maybe since you're here, we'll ask you this question. Do you have like any favorite like apocalyptic pandemic type movie or show?
I mean, when the Walking Dead first came out, like
Uh-huh.
I was all about it, and
Yeah.
like I kind of fell off of that. I haven't really watched a whole lot of like new.
It doesn't have to be new, like
stuff
anything,
lately.
like even yeah.
What do you like for the apocalypse?
The apocalypse.
Zombie?
like-
You into zombies? You into viruses? What are you thinking?
I think zombies would be easier to create like a defense,
Uh-huh, yeah.
mechanism for
Yeah,
it.
totally.
You
Well,
can
but
like
it depends
it's hard
what
to like.
zombies.
Yeah.
What movie zombies? You know, are they
Well,
the ones that
They're
move
the
real
one-
fast
they're
and run?
the ones that run like crazy, and then there's like the ones that are pretty slow and just slowly degrade over time.
Yeah, I
like,
wish
that's
we get
optimal.
them. They would be great.
That's
yeah, 'cause you'd be
optimal.
like, fuck yeah, you just walk around and then. Yeah,
But,
that's what I'd like to see.
I guess it depends. I'd rather not have a virus take us all out because those are a lot harder to fight. You can't
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't see it, and I mean, if virus might create zombies.
No, yeah, absolutely.
You never really know.
I'm sure there's a viral zombie thing out there. I do actually. The one that I really like, that one that's set in medieval Korea, called The Kingdom. It's second season just dropped, and that one actually has a viral effect of how it spreads. And that one I really like. If you guys want for if you do like zombie ones, The Kingdom set like it's like 1500s.
Wasn't that like 28 days later? Wasn't that kind of like viral with the
That was
monkey?
a
yeah,
good
28
one,
days later
yeah.
was viral that way too.
That was
yeah.
actually one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But I-
Personally, my personal favorites. It was just so fast paced.
It was well made.
and
was
it's
well
just
made.
I like the take they took on it. Like I mean, those zombies were just and it's like they weren't even zombies. They were just kind of fucking
But
berserk.
I think the most likely scenario that's gonna take us out, robots.
Oh really? AI? More of a
And-
Terminator
and,
apocalypse,
like,
like
it's-
robot AI.
As far as like the way the technology has like grown exponentially over the past 10, 15 years, like it's just the likely trajectory of the path.
You're thinking Westworld
You
style.
raise a good
Maybe.
point. You raise a
I
good
don't
point. I was kind of categorizing Apocalypse last week, and I cannot believe, but I left out AI as a
Yeah,
very
you can't.
They
you
can't
do
leave
that.
out AI.
You never
I
know.
mean,
Like the way that
Terminator.
I
it's
mean, that whole
going.
franchise is built on that thing. It's definitely a
Well,
legitimate.
I follow
That's what like Bill Gates.
Michael E. Mann. You know him?
No.
He's like a scientific like climate scientist or whatever, and super smart guy. But he leads like the whole world for this stuff. He's traveling all over. But he's like, I mean, he's always tweeting online. He's like, dude, he's like, you guys can be scared about this virus, but you guys gotta be worried about the actual environment and what's happening. He's like, Australia's getting ready to have another like
fire season
with the bleaching, the coral reefs are bleaching, and he's just like, they're dying off. He's like, and they don't realize that once the oceans die, the world's gonna die. You know, it's just like when these coral reefs die, I mean, they pretty much sustain like the majority of the freaking sea life.
Yeah.
And he's really worried about that. He was like, you guys can be scared of everything else, but he's like, you guys are missing all of that.
So if
well,
we
maybe
survive all this
he's
stuff,
probably got his
that's
finger
gonna
crossed
hit.
for like a major pandemic then, because the only thing that's going to save those fucking coral is if people actually die. It's not going to be because we're going to take action. I think it's pretty clear at this point that people are not going to take action.
The garbage isn't going away, but we can make less of it.
Yeah, but the best thing or best bet is
this has
that,
actually helped a lot of that. I mean, we said about the gases and everything's
Mm-hmm.
depleting in like China and like over all the different countries from satellites. You can see like less emissions.
Yeah.
But he scares me with that. I mean, that sounds freaky. You know, the ocean, get the oceans to die. My wife, she says we should also be worried about Lyme disease. She says like the tick thing is getting out of control, and she deals with that. Before this all happened, I mean, she said the ticks was like number one priority, but that's such a slow moving disease. It doesn't affect like what this is happening.
We should have Shelly and God, I'm blanking on your cousin or her cousin's name right
Casey?
now. Yeah, we should have Shelly and Casey on for a Lyme disease roundtable.
Oh shit,
that would be awesome.
Dude, they would fight.
I know, but that's why we got to get that on film. That would be crazy. And I would, yeah,
that would be awesome.
that would be awesome.
No,
Casey be talking about
she says check
she'd
for
be
ticks.
like, you only test for one Lyme disease. There's 100 Lyme diseases.
Well, get checked, everybody.
Get checked. Yeah.
Keep yourself looking for Lyme disease, because she says it's not about like you get bit by a tick and then there's just all these different like diseases you could pick up from that one tick. It's not just one. It's not just Lyme disease. It's like a whole bunch of different autoimmune diseases you'll pick up, and it could really fuck your body up. So, be safe. Check
Have
for
a
ticks.
corona and Lyme disease.
Yeah,
If you're taking walks in the woods, check for ticks.
for real.
Oh, totally. Multiple times. That was used to be, yeah. That used to be the sign to go have sex in the tent. Me and my girl would be like, tick check, let's go.
All right. Well, where are we at?
Well, hey, I'm just super, super excited to announce the return of the Boro News. And luckily it was one of our late night shenanigans going on. We were drunk bowling late night live, and Calvin, shout out to Calvin Pickroll for that. Boro News is back. We got the Instagram page here for you guys to check it out. And I feel confidently I can say it's the real Boro News, even though I haven't had contact with them yet.
Well, they have those stories. So unless somebody preemptively screenshotted and saved all of that information,
Which I can tell you now, every single one that shows up, I photographed the picture, then I photographed all the text. So I'm going to have a storage of all that stuff. So if I want to come back and reproduce it, I can do it myself exactly the way this one came out.
So are you them?
No, I'm not. No, I will. I can. Yeah, but I'm definitely like preserving them this time. I'm not going to have them get lost and be like, oh, well, that one was so funny. I wish. So I'm just want to like. It's like collecting baseball
Well, so they
cards.
just started 6 days ago. We saw.
Yeah.
And they're putting some
They're
of the older
dropping
ones
old,
out.
dropping old ones.
They put some new ones
and
out.
put some new ones out. The new one with the Dab and Granny. The Dab and Granny was fun, but I thought the Micah one was funnier.
Yeah, that was actually when I just read it today, and he was talking about the little 11-year-old boy.
Yeah, wheezing glass dust.
Coughing out the glass dust, and he's like, he dropped it in. He's like, it shook his head.
Funny.
Well, and I think my favorite racist term of all time is round eye.
Oh my god!
And so like he used for him to use round eye in the text. That's like bonus points for me. I
he's
think
like he's gonna help him get $300 a month. Can you believe it?
Totally.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Well, Micah took it like he commented right away. and was just like, hey,
totally,
good to have you back. You know, whatever.
Can
That's
you grab
cool.
me? Can I get another?
You can have this one, buddy.
Oh, sweet. Well, then I'm gonna.
Do you want to share that one?
It's hard to pour a proper brass monkey with.
Sorry,
that.
the
She's
ratios and
yeah.
all that.
A 12 brass monkey. Oh, I'm really looking forward to the names for this to come up. I can't wait to see what you guys say. I hope you come up with a great name for this cocktail. And I thought it tasted, like I said, to me it
It's
is
not
like
bad.
it's more like a mimosa. Just,
I liked it better than the Yingling one.
Oh, really?
That we tried a couple weeks ago.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
So, yeah, but back to the Boro news. I mean, we'll see how long they last. I mean, somebody's probably gonna. It's got to be the same people every time that are like reporting them and shutting them down.
And
So I mean, it's gonna be.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, you think he's gonna hit? He's gonna pick and choose who he think could have shut him down and not repost their.
I feel like that would take away integrity.
Yeah, I do too. Dang, I'm glad you said that. I
I'm
feel the
just
same
saying
way, and that's why I say to you, Boro News, you do not you post. You post the one.
what you
You
gotta
gotta
do.
post. Don't because you don't want to give in to the haters that way.
But you know, if he has to keep doing it over and over.
It's a slippery slope. I'll tell you, it's a slippery.
Who do you
slope.
think? Who do you think's reporting him? I mean, there's only a few of them that
I
were
think
like.
it's.
Well,
I
like, to
think.
even
Well,
do
it still
stuff
seemed
like
like
that.
Merck was the most upset with everything. So I assume that it's Merck and his followers that have taken up the cause.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, they were getting.
It just seemed like there was the most vitriol.
But just
How
like,
do you like
just,
that word?
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
They don't give. If they shut you down on Instagram, you don't get any reason.
Oh, well, they don't have to. They don't have to give you a reason, and it only has to be like one person that makes a complaint. But if you get more than one or two people to be like, "Hey, this offends me," they'll just take it down. Instagram's and it's very. It's not. There's no free speech on Instagram. It's whatever they want and determine, and so there's no recourse. There's nothing. That is something we should talk about sometime. Just that tentative, like really, like it's the whole glassblowing industries with Instagram. It's just it's on a
rules.
thread.
I
It's
do
their
like-
rules. They can
gotta
shut it
say,
down every day. That's a major market.
Back to the Corona. I mean, I saw a lot of people. They said these people hoarding sanitizer, tissues, all that kind of crap, and then trying to resell them. And Facebook, Google,
That's fucked up.
Amazon, not Amazon, but eBay, they all shut that down.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
good.
and then I saw that on the news they were making some like law, basically, that you're not allowed to do any of that kind of stuff. Which there's tons. I mean, there's tons of big companies price gouging.
Are there?
You know,
I haven't heard about big companies price gouging recently. That's cool.
my buddy Jesse was out yesterday. He said that Kruger or whatever, that one, the grocery store place. He said they raised all. He said Sunnyway raised all their prices 30 to 40 cents. If you go in and look, he's just like the prices are all up from what they were.
I'm just telling you, the amount of dedicated manpower it would take for them to physically go in there and change all those labels is huge. And that's like on the scale of like doing when a company does inventory, they almost have to shut down to do that.
It's as they're stocking the new stuff that actually is all sold out.
Yeah.
So it's like toilet paper and like canned goods and things like that. That I did notice soup was up.
I can
like
tell you
crazy. Like a can of chunky soup was like $3.50 a can. It's only like $2.50, $2.45 or something like that. So it was up like 50 some cents a can.
I'll tell you, those motherfuckers bought all the black pepper out. I was pissed.
Really?
Today. Yeah.
They did.
I had to go with pepper for a day and a half because I tried to get Darwin town. We went in town today and they had pepper. Don't get me wrong. They had pepper. They didn't have pepper in the quantity or style that I wanted. It was just like a couple small single serving grinders was all they had. It was
that's
bullshit. Yeah, I was like, I need a big tin box of black pepper.
You get the upcharge for the grinder. So.
I know it's it's total bullshit. But I can't believe that's what people went there and hoarded. Like, oh, I'm gonna buy extra boxes of pepper, so there's no pepper.
Well, when I went last week, I mean,
that.
all the soup aisle was wiped out. Soup and canned vegetables.
There wasn't a lot of soup in there today.
There's
was?
tons of
No.
soup. Oh, dude, so much soup.
Dude, there was the whole like Campbell's rack
Yeah.
thing was like empty.
Oh no, there's so much.
There was soup there,
Oh.
but it was like empty.
Well,
it wasn't
if
full.
But
by
I
any
guess
means.
I think the more inexpensive soup, but there's like
you
Progresso. is
gotta
loaded.
look at it.
Yeah.
But what flavors were there? It's always
Progresso
like
had everything when I
split
went there.
pea,
Split pea, yeah.
and like minestrone.
I like split pea.
I
I don't like minestrone.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody wants to eat minestrone shit. So yeah, split pea is one of those ones too. It's like I don't like canned. I'd eat it fresh made, but I don't want canned split pea soup.
I think canned split pea soup is like, yeah, I don't think you're getting anything from fresh split pea soup that you're not getting from canned.
Yeah, it tastes totally different.
It's a broken down bean.
My wife's mother makes it. It's like one of her favorites. Her mom, she makes with ham.
Yeah.
And it's like ham. It's like
Well,
a
it's like we were
ham-based
talking.
soup.
That's why your ham broth
the
soup is good
homemade.
because the bean's not broken down and it has the liquid content. So maybe you have to show me
Yeah.
some good split pea, but the concept of split pea is that it gets broken down
I'll tell-
anyway. So it's a
That'll
perfect,
give me something to do.
it's
I'll
a
tell her
perfect-
mom that you never had a good homemade ham split pea soup. So she'll
No
make
one-
it. She'll make it.
Will she do it without onion?
Oh yeah.
All right,
She'd totally do that for you.
That's it.
So
Yeah. I don't know. I think
they were
soup's
definitely they were also out of canned vegetables. The only thing left was like creamed asparagus and cream spinach, like shit that was disgusting.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, all the vegetables were gone, like the corn, the beans, like everything was gone.
Yeah.
There was when I went.
There's tons of beans, canned beans everywhere.
I didn't see nothing.
Every store I've gone to has had tons of canned beans.
Really? Today?
Yes, today.
Wow.
We walked by ourselves today. I saw those Goya. There's a whole row.
They have toilet paper?
No.
No toilet paper.
Still no toilet paper.
This is the first time I've struck out going out for toilet paper. Past 2 times I've gone out, I've always been able to get.
I just ordered. She just ordered like a 36-pack on Amazon yesterday, so it's crazy. Paper towels, and like now I got this new puppy, and paper towels are going like hotcakes, cleaning up messes.
She's snoring.
As she starts snoring. On I wish we had her. We should have mic'd her. She's probably snoring like a storm over there. She's loud. We'll pour her out the end.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you guys have we were talking about that board news. If you're out there, give them a follow. We got to get those guys pumped up. We got to make sure we show them some love, so we inspire them to keep bringing us the good board news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dab and Granny one.
It's good style.
What was the Dab and Granny one about? I mean,
they're just basically talking like they were just like, oh, when she's calling the scene and she does, it's like we went to interview her and she did like a bong hit and then chugged a beer, like something like basically what she does.
Right.
I don't know what they were really. I guess they were making fun of just people making fun of her. I think that's kind of where it's all coming down to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, she's a nice lady. I've met her and talked to her. She's a really nice lady.
Totally.
I don't think she should be judging the competitions.
I don't
that
think
before.
she should be judging.
I don't think she should be judging glass. She doesn't understand glass.
That's a fair
enough.
assessment for a glass competition judge.
Well, yeah, she judged champs this year. Champs.
Well, this is the second time.
Yeah, twice. Well, she did the one in Atlantic City.
They're caving to a celebrity type of thing, and that doesn't help.
Yeah, I don't think so either. She, like I said, she's a nice woman. I'm not going to take that away from her.
Mm-hmm.
But she just, don't really know.
The stakes are too high in those competitions to just, I mean, yeah, if you just want the sense of what the public vibe.
Or just maybe teach her more about glass so that way she knows what to judge and what to look for. And also she has that outsider, social media.
Well, she just knows she's picking because it's pretty, you know. It's like, oh, that's pretty, you know.
Yeah.
She might not understand what actually went into it. If you can,
like
as a glass blower, you could
and
look into a piece and see what kind of prep work went into it, and be like, oh shit, that's hard to do. That took time. She's just looking at it and buying. You could have a bunch of wigwags and be like, oh, shit's covered with wigwag. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's how most people are. Though the average person sees a wigwag pipe and just loses their mind because they think it's amazing.
And line work is like really attention grabbing for people that don't know that.
I have that problem a lot. That drives me crazy.
Friends don't let friends wigwag.
Who was that? Was that the Skookie that made that?
I don't know who that was, but it's
a
classic.
I think he was the original OG that kind of had those T-shirts back in the day.
Oh, did he? Oh,
he had those, and he says he had one that says "Friends don't let friends wigwag," and he had one that said "Friends don't let friends use frit."
Oh, that's what to do.
But he used to make those. I mean, we're talking years ago.
Yeah.
I remember.
I don't remember where. I just remember the shirt. I don't remember who made it. Yeah.
I don't have to look that up.
I think I had stickers too of that. So.
Oh, what's this?
Oh,
he's putting some questions on.
Hold on. Are we at the mailbag part already? We're skipping Patty's interview.
Well, no, that's at the end, right?
Oh, that's at the. All right. So yeah, we're gonna jump on this mailbag because we got a question up here, and it says, "Howdy. I found out about your podcast while taking Josh's marble class at Carlisle a few weeks ago, which I specifically said in the podcast."
We were just talking about Brad today.
Hold on, okay, Brad, 1 second. Do you remember what I said in the class about the podcast?
What? I don't know.
It was like a federal prosecutor, an intelligence analyst, an old couple and I was like, started talking about the podcast. I was like, you guys probably shouldn't watch the podcast. So, Brad, I'm glad you went against my...
Who was Brad? Was Brad...
Brad is a student in the class. And he lives in Mechanicsburg or something, or Green... Yeah, he's like...
Is he older, younger?
Yeah, he's our age. He's going to come to Melt. And he made super nice marbles. He kind of got into it as a hobby. I think works in computers, if I remember.
Yeah,
and he's a 3D printer. Red, our production guy, does all of our 3D printing. Brad... He actually made this marble stand. I'd almost have to. I'm gonna pull one of these other ones up here to show you in a minute. But anyway, I digress, or I digest. Anyway, first of all, I want to thank Josh for the awesome class. The information dump was intense. I learned some, for me, game-changing techniques and got new perspectives on working with glass. I've already seen an improvement in my work, and I want to give a shout out to your fantastic TA, Patty, Jess, and everyone, Carla. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm sure, as does Patty and all that crew. You are a great person to have in the class, too. It's always nice to have somebody that actually has a really good grasp on fundamentals in the class.
Good to have
and to see somebody that, we know, it's new people get stuff out of it, but it's great to see somebody with your skill set actually get something out of it, too. So that means a lot. And now, on to your question. As a hobbyist glassblower, is there benefit to going with a name brand clear glass, Cymex, Pyrex, etc. over the less expensive Chinese stuff? Good
Absolutely.
question, and the answer is absolutely yes.
We talked about this recently.
Yeah, we were just having this conversation.
We get sponsored through Melt. You know, we have UST that gives us a bunch of shot glass, which is great glass to use.
Yeah, shot is a high quality, great glass.
And we have there's always leftovers, so we're always blowing glass throughout the year. I mean, we use a ton of shot, but and there's a big but. If you like to do fuming at all, Cymax is 100%. I mean, 100% game changer. I mean, the difference is night and day.
Yeah, for fuming, absolutely, Cymex is.
I wish I had some cases.
I wish, a little side by side comparison.
Well, just like I could always tell people like right off the bat. I mean, if you look at my normal fuming stuff that I make, and then look at the scallop, because we use a lot of scallop to make a lot of just production pieces. The fuming on the scallop tubing compared to like fuming on something else. I mean, I can make something look solid gold with Cymax, with just not even that much fuming. It doesn't even take a whole lot. But shot, I mean, you can fume your guts out, and you don't even get near the effect that you'd get off from Cymax.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
And another thing, I can say this, I think there is some argument for that Chinese glass. There's different applications, that things come up. It's like maybe there's definitely applications where having that inexpensive glass is just, there's a benefit to it.
It depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing.
I feel like the benefit is when you're first starting off and you don't want to spend a lot of money, do the Chinese glass.
Or if you're doing if you're just using 25 mil heavy wall to do frit spoons,
sure,
use the Chinese.
Yeah, you could do that.
There's things that will work. But I will say, just on one thing that I can say specifically about Chinese glass, and this will relate to you, Brad, since you look. I don't know if you're into marbles, but you definitely took a marble class with us. Is that the optics on Chinese glass is not as good. When it first really hit the market, 15 years ago, or whenever we first had an opportunity to buy inexpensive 25 millimeter Chinese rod, we made a bunch of marbles, and they just don't.
Just cloudy, muddy.
I think a ropey is like one of the terminology for it. Just basically within the mix, like probably what it is, just not mixed thoroughly enough. It's probably mixed enough to be a functional glass rod.
Lesser grade oxides and chemicals.
Totally.
So in the
optical quality for marbles, I would definitely say it's no good. But if when we did have it in the shop, we just used it for clear coring sculptural work, so that we would wrap color over it or build over it, and it just bulks things up, but with a very low cost.
I don't like it for punties. It seems like it breaks so much easier. So I'll be doing something, I'll go to tap something off, and the whole I'll have a little thing, I'll
just more stress in it,
and just you tap it, and the whole piece just breaks apart.
Yeah,
I don't think it makes great punties. Blow tubes, great. You could use it for blow tubes and just stuff like that. But I mean, it's just.
Yeah,
the punny theory is interesting. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that too. I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Do you remember
definitely had more stress in it?
Me and Todd bought a couple cases a couple years back.
Yeah.
We still have some out there. There's still. Sure. I got rid of a bunch of it with Joe and those guys. To just get rid of it because I didn't want it in the shop because I just take 8 mil or 6 mil and use it as a punny for something. Mm-hmm. And you just smack the punny, and the glass would just break in 3 pieces. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's a whole rod. But I just think the stress. Though I don't know if they how they're doing it, but it just seems like it has so much more stress in it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're getting what you pay for. When it comes down to it, you get what you pay for. If you pay top dollar, buy Cymax, you will be like, holy shit. And then when you go back,
it's very specific. But if you're Cymax or Cavalier or Pyrex or Shot, as far as just good clear, they all are almost equally good.
Feel the difference just spinning it in my hands. To Cymax to Chinese, I mean, you can just feel the difference.
Well, the
Chinese actually, it's ribbed.
It gets
texture.
Yucky.
Yeah, it's not as whatever its process of being made. It's cordy and it'll have texture. You can feel.
But I would say right off the bat, I mean, if you're new, buy Chinese, play with it, play around, screw around, do whatever, and then when you have some extra money, buy some different stuff like some Shot or Cymax. I mean, there again, I would say Cymax all day long, but. Yeah. You'll see a big difference in fuming if you're doing fuming. If not, you'll see a big difference just in, I think, like you said, optics and all that thing. So,
I think if you're new too, just buy the Chinese tubing or whatever, and then just spend that money on colors that you want to try.
Well, look for deals. I mean, you can look at ABR or Mountain Glass, or sometimes be 40% off Chinese glass. Yeah. You literally could buy a case of glass for like $50 and get it shipped. You could be like, oh, I'm gonna spend $300 and get like 6 cases of glass.
Yeah.
I mean, those deals sometimes are ridiculous.
Yeah.
It'll be like 40% off, free shipping or whatever. I mean, you just got to look around. I wouldn't doubt they might be doing some kind of deals right now for everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen.
What do you think? Just while we're talking about ABR real quick, I just saw and they posted up, and then I saw a lot of other posts back to the coronavirus shit. Oh, look at that! What's that? What do you see about these guys building the ventilator adapters? What do you think about that? Yeah,
I think it's rad. I'm surprised.
Cool.
I see a lot of glass blowers stepping up, and they're saying they're building these like Y splitters for the ventilators because they say that's the big thing that everything is running out is the ventilators. So
the ventilator
if they
tips.
yeah,
It's basically a manifold.
It's just a manifold
airflow.
piece. I don't what the diameter is. It's probably what like 10, 12
I think it
mil.
was
Small.
I thought it was smaller than that, but yeah, because it goes right to it's like 6. I would have guessed. Like
Well, it goes.
6
It's coming out of the machine, so they can take the machine and split it into 2 and have 2 people run off one machine.
Okay, yeah.
And the 1 people, so they can do up to 4 people if you do it right.
Oh, cool.
So I just see a lot of glass blowers in the cities, like, oh, I'll donate some meat. I'll make as many as you need. So yeah.
Or like even there's like scientific companies like in Vineland in South Jersey, like they're doing like their normal scientific, but they are essential as in like they're. I've talked to a couple of friends that work in the field, and they're just like, as soon as like an order for like a hospital or pharmaceutical comes up, that like just trumps everything else that they're doing. So there's a lot of work for scientific glass blowers right now.
Oh yeah, cool.
That's good. Like I said, I mean, it's cool to see everybody banding together. There's a lot of companies out there doing that. I mean, I see a lot of restaurants giving away, like even our local home beer brewery Pits. They're doing meals, and any kids that aren't going to school, they can go there and get free meals.
There's a lot of places,
you know, and a lot of places are pulling together and doing that, which is really good to see. I mean, that's one of the perks you see during this whole thing. Yeah. I do like seeing some of the videos people posting of just being stuck at home. You know,
the bored videos.
Just people doing dumb shit, dude. I mean, there's people just playing with their animals and like just getting them to do the craziest shit, and like you just see so much people just. I don't know. It cracks me up. I spend half my time watching them. That's why the political shit sucks. I want to see people just doing dumb shit. That one yesterday is like a guy puts a quarter on a string and just swings it, and he like steps back and he's naked, and he steps back, he takes his towel off, and he's back and forth.
He's matching
the way back. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. You have that a lot of time. How many times did he make that video and it didn't work? Yeah, he's like just dancing naked in his apartment.
Or like those crazy marble runs that people make throughout their like entire house.
Oh, that's a good
I posted something a little bit ago. I reposted it. It was a guy that was making all these contraptions. He's just sitting at home and he's like doing all these like mousetrap things, spinning things flying down the walls and like balls and like it's just to feed him. He's like sitting there and he's like makes a turkey and the thing stuffs the turkey, goes in the oven. He has the dog run on a treadmill and opens the door. And it's just ridiculous how much time this guy.
It's good stuff.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, some of them are pretty damn amazing. So yeah, I like to see that kind of stuff. We need more of that.
Yeah.
Let's talk more freaking fun.
You want to throw up our mailbag stuff that we need to read? Should we do that? Did we read them all?
Oh yeah, for the questions.
Yeah, did you do it?
Okay, well, here we go. If you have questions for us or you want to find anything about us, send us more questions. We like to read those, and we like to gives us something to talk about. So mailbag at breakingglass.show. Our website again is breakingglass.show. And Instagram, breaking_glass_podcast. And Facebook is just Breaking Glass Show. Anytime you have any questions, we check those things out regularly, and we're always trying to get some more content, you know, and it's always good to hear what you guys have to say about everything, especially people watching. And for sure, anytime you watch the show, please push like, lets us know that we're doing something. So,
yeah.
All right. So let's go to you. Let's hear some shit about you.
Well,
we talked about you being our Melt superstar.
Yeah, Melt's something I'm so stoked to be involved in.
You went to Salem. That's how you got into this, right? So
yeah, I went to Salem, and I took like there's a glass art and there's a scientific program there, and anyone that's like interested, highly recommend trying Salem out just because it's so cheap for like what you get out of it.
And we talked about that last week. They canceled the Salem
They canceled
thing.
the IFC, which was lame, but obviously it was a necessity. So I'm hoping that they have the same lineup for next year because it was all like Salem graduates since it was the 20th anniversary of the IFC. So they're all having Salem graduates. So
we were bummed we couldn't come to that. I mean,
I'm hoping next year,
you know,
they'll have the same lineup because it'll still technically be the 20th one.
So what degree did you get there?
So I got 2 degrees, 2 associates, scientific glass blowing and glass art, which is like both flame working and furnace work. And then
what do you like better?
That's a funny question. I get it a lot. I mean, so like I started out flame working. Like pipe making is what got me into this industry. It's like I started working at a head shop when I was 18.
Oh wow.
Soft glass is just it feels way more right for me. I don't know what it is. It's just like the fluidity of the motion, the full body aspect of it.
That's right. I like.
I do love flame working though. Like it was like my first love, and then like marble. Like when I took my first marble class with you, it was just like marbles like spoke to me, and then.
But you I like soft glass. I like the camaraderie. I like the group effort.
It's a team effort, and like the assistant, it's like we're the like lower than the gaffer, but like the gaffer is like if you're a really good assistant, like your gaffer will value you. It's
Yeah, I wish we had more of that in flame working, but there's just.
I'm a flame working assistant too. Like for
you can
Paul,
do that.
Collaborative work.
It's not the same as soft glass. It's just
working with soft glass is not really a collaborative. Like it's a collaborative effort, but it's not a collab. Like a pipe making collab would be.
You're working as a team
under the direction of somebody leading.
Like flame working, it's like, oh, we're gonna do a collab. You're gonna do your part. I'm gonna do my part. We'll put it together. But you're not working each the whole time. In Boro, not Boro, but like in soft glass. You have the one guy directing everybody, and he's the guy in charge, and then you have...
And that's the gaffer, and then you have assistant, and then, there's a second assistant, and, like, there's, like, I don't know, everyone has, like, the thing that they have to do, and it's, like, the moment-based things. You can't just, like...
You could be the guy just opening up the blow mold and shutting it, and, like, there's all important steps, and especially for certain
It's all process-based, especially for production like that, so it's, like, a different thing. But, like, I still love flame working. Like, I'll never give it up. But it's just like it's really hard to describe. I guess I just like working in a hot shop better. But like here's the thing, it's like I'm not like partial to soft glass. I like Boro too, like furnace work Boro, furnace work soft glass, flame work soft glass, flame work Boro. Like do all of it. Yeah. It doesn't matter what, and like it all like all the skills like are applicable to each other. Like if you're a flame worker, you go into soft glass and like. You're going to have, like, a leg up in some sort of way just from, like, a different view on how glass moves in general.
Yeah. That's good.
I think it's the combination. You got to, like,
what are you doing more right now? What do you think you do more
I'm front of a glory hole most of my time. Well, not right now, but most of my time is spent working soft glass about 6 days a week.
You're working at a shop. Where's it at? Philadelphia?
Yeah, it's downtown? In Philly, North Philly, Port Richmond.
What's it called?
John Pomp Studios.
John Pomp?
Yep. So we make
P-O-M-P?
P-O-M-P.
Okay.
Yep. So we make lighting and furniture, super high end, like chandelier parts, and we make pendants, sconces, and like we cast and we blow. It's a really awesome shop.
How many people does he have working there?
Glass blowers or in general?
Oh, soft. Like how many blowers?
We got 5.
5?
Yeah.
And
we got 6.
Now you say Brian? Does Brian work with you?
Yeah. Brian's like my gaffer really, and then Brian and Chris run the Speakeasy, which is where I work in Philly, and they're both gaffers at Pomp.
Well, I didn't know he did other. That's why I knew that you guys had the Speakeasy there. And so for that, what you guys have a soft glass studio there?
So Brian's working on it right now. Brian and Chris are working on it, and so we have like a lot of the stuff. It's just. There's like, how it takes to like build a shop. It takes a while to like grow into it. So like slowly but surely the hot glass studio is coming along in the Speakeasy, which is rad. How many
flame workers do you have at the Speakeasy?
I think we have 8 benches. I think there's only like 5 or 6 of us that are usually there.
No, that's their spot? Do they own that?
Yeah, it's like in a warehouse. So like the guys that own the building, and then we have like our glass blowing studio, and then like what will be the new hot shop is next to that, and there's like a fab shop, a metal shop, and like there's a couple bands that practice right across from us. There's one that's okay. I'm telling you, the rest of them suck.
Hey,
that's okay.
That's why they're practicing.
I know, but they gotta practice the same songs. Oh no, it's fine. But yeah, no, it's cool.
The theme to Halloween, like just over and over.
No, there's this one band plays like a lot of Ramones.
Oh, that's even worse.
Is that the moms?
The moms.
It's all like moms that play Ramone covers.
They're like
they're moms.
They're
shitty.
Moms. The band is called the Moms.
Are they women?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all moms.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
They should be the Ramones.
They suck.
The Ramones. That's
not all Ramones, but that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, you could pass that on to them for me.
Yeah,
tell them it's free.
I'll make sure they know.
We taught the brat with the baseball. Yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then you have a flame working job too, though, right?
Yeah, flame work. I'm an assistant for Paul Stankard, who's like old school paperweight maker. And,
I would say most of these people that are watching us probably know who Paul is.
Yeah, if
I
you
don't
don't,
know.
time to look him
like
up.
I don't like to assume that people know, but you should definitely look his stuff up because the things that he's been doing with glass are like.
So what do you assist him doing? What do you?
So I make like the little figures for him, and I do like color experiments and make like pistols, sometimes petals, and like try to figure out new awesome color combinations because not enough people layer color.
How many people's in his shop?
Just me and
just him?
Dave and Dave Graber's his assistant for the last like 25 years. So they do assemblies together like on Fridays, and I'll come in usually throughout the week and do little components. So I'll make like one orb a week.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
still pumping. He's 76, still going.
And he's
like right now he's
all recovered good right now.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. Except for like. Obviously, he can't really do much right now because he's like did the self-quarantine thing,
Well,
a lot
older
of people are doing
need to take that seriously.
I think my parents need to take that
protect,
serious.
save.
Especially
Sticker.
Paul. Like I said, he's just one of those characters. I've known him. Like I said, I met him at Salem 20 some years ago.
Oh, he's the best.
What was the year for Salem? We were talking about this last week. I didn't know what
it was.
Is it 20 or 21st?
It'll be the 20th IFC. Salem's been around. He graduated.
So it was the
in
20th IFC. That was
okay. But he started the IFC.
Oh, I'm saying I was, like I said, was
that the first?
The
one
very first one with him, and like I can remember him being there, and that very first one, he took us out to some bar down by the river. It was like I forget the name of that place, but he was like
DePaulo's.
I don't know if it was DePaulo. It was right along the river. It was like out. I know this water, and like he took us all out, and he's like, "Oh, the first drink's on me. Everybody show up." But back then, that very first one, there was only under 100 people, like 90 couple. There wasn't a lot. Mickelson was the main person. That was it. And it was all in the very first flame working studio they had there. Yeah, it was like in the middle of the very.
That was in the nursing center. Yes. Yeah, back when I was on main campus.
And it was just one little. It wasn't a big room. It was okay, but they didn't have anything else. I mean, it was just.
Oh, that program's grown so much in the last 20 years. Then it's crazy. The new building is really awesome. They're doing a lot with it. Kristen Didi's doing a great job running that program.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And
I know Paul.
I'm really excited for to see where Salem goes. I'm not there anymore because I don't have time to TA there anymore.
I was kind of bumming that we didn't get to go this year because I wanted to see the new facility.
Yeah, it's rad. I mean, it seems a little bit smaller just because the kiln shop is just completely segregated.
Were they going to do it in the gymnasium again?
The IFC?
Yeah.
No, there's plenty of room in the new building.
They were gonna set the actual demos and have everything in there.
I don't think so. I think they were just gonna. Actually, that's a really great question.
Well,
I don't know.
The original ones they always did them in the gymnasium. They had the gymnasium there, and they would set up the stages, and they would blow glass. Everybody would sit.
But then at the other glass center, by the dump, we just had it right in there.
I know, and I didn't. I don't know. I never liked that.
No.
I actually skipped one or two of them because I hated it.
Oh, okay.
I fucking hated it. It was just for one, you couldn't park there. That drove me crazy.
Oh yeah, look, there's a parking lot now, but yeah, no, that was a thing. They were told students we couldn't park there. We did anyway. It's doesn't matter.
What do you need?
Not beer.
Hey, Red, can you grab some beer for us? So, yeah, Paul's a great guy. We love
awesome.
To get him up. We try every year. We try to get him to Mel. We keep trying to get him up there.
I've almost gotten him a couple times.
She's gonna be there. She'll make it up.
He's always close. He's always like, okay. And we're like, oh, we'll get your room. We'll do whatever you need to do. I would just like to see him walk around.
I think it blows mine for.
He would get such a kick out.
He would have a great time, I think.
He always reminded me of Santa Claus. He's like the most jolly, happy guy.
He's like my grandpa, really. I don't have any grandparents, so he's kind of he's like my mentor and my glass grandpa.
Well, you're pretty lucky then. I mean, the
I'm
fact that you
super lucky. I don't even know why he even picked me, to be perfectly honest with you. I had just started Salem.
Well, I'm saying, you realize, I mean, he has pieces in places all around the world. 60 museums. I mean, the people, the King of Spain and England. I mean, all these people have his works of art in their house. He really does have. He's probably one of the most famous glass blowers alive.
They call him the grandfather of the American paperweight because he was a huge part of the studio art movement of the 60s. He may
be the most famous lamp worker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
One of them that's not Italian anyway.
Well, I think even he could supersede them in terms of international. Maybe, who knows?
Well, because the influential nature of.
I mean, you got the guys. I mean, you got Cesare and Gino
Lucio
and all those guys that are just super badass Italians. But as far as he goes, I mean, he just really does. I mean, he has pieces in places that you were like, wow. I mean,
well, just the process alone, his process alone is what like blew my mind. Like the first time I ever saw like an actual encapsulation. And
so you're saying you do about one a week?
About one a week, yeah.
Wow.
Like obviously right now it's different, but
they've said, I mean,
about
they're
4-inch orbs.
But they can sell anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000 on average.
Yeah, so I think like he's like special projects obviously are different, but I think like the main is like they're about 65 to 7 for 4-inch orb.
Yeah, my favorite ones. I love the square ones. The ones he's
the cubes,
square,
the botanicals.
They are so good. I like
Those
when
are
he
nice.
does the when he stacked like the 9.
Yeah, those
cubes.
are called the botanicals. Yeah. So like those are actually like polished and laminated.
The amount of work
with, like,
that he puts into
laminated
those,
black glass
it's just
on there.
amazing. So doesn't his daughter work with him?
She used to back in the day. It's been a long time though.
She doesn't blow glass anymore?
No.
Okay.
She's a really awesome painter though.
I always
Really
thought
nice lady.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I always remember her being like in the studio working.
Yeah, I think Amber Cohen worked for him for a minute. I think he's mentioned that, and
her work's cool. I
Becky
really like her
Feather
work.
for a minute. I think
Who?
did
Becky.
Becky Feather
Yeah,
some
Feather.
stuff for him once, like way back, and
When she put to come to Meld one year?
trying to think.
She was.
Yeah.
It
she
was
didn't
last
go.
year.
Yeah, she didn't go.
Yeah, she didn't. She hung out with me. Well, I'm sure she doesn't watch this, so I might as well say. She hung out with us that whole night and said she was coming.
Yeah, never showed up.
And then when I talked to her about it later, she made it sound like she had never insinuated she was coming. I was like, well, so only a few things that I know I'm reliably certain on, and it's the people that say they're coming to this event because it's the one thing that I have to do in my life. So I know you sat there, had dinner with us, and said
That's
you're
your
coming.
job.
Yeah,
You
I was
talk to these people.
Yeah, and then I talked to her. Then she saw her at the DFO. Talked to her at the DFO, and then a month before Melt, she's like, "Oh, I never said I was coming." It's like, okay, I guess you didn't handle your alcohol as well that night as I thought you did. So, but hey,
Oh well.
yeah, no hard feelings.
There's always somebody else to take
Let's
the
check
spot.
it. And hey, since we have just a little lull, I just think I'll take this minute to announce Deb is the winner of the Shaggy giveaway.
Dab?
Deb.
Oh, Deb. I didn't
Dab.
hear. I
Dab.
heard Dab.
Dab.
And I want to say, I don't want to say your last name because I always will. I'll pronounce it wrong. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, but it's
So
not.
it's a
It's not
P.
the one on. That's not her actual last name.
Oh, it's not okay. Anyway.
Just
But
Deb.
Deb, DPS Glass, you know who you are. We're gonna actually send your prize back with Patty and make you see her and break quarantine.
Nice.
So and
I'll leave it in your
Andrew,
studio.
you too. You're gonna have
She's
to.
gonna use it as a face mask on the way home.
Yeah. But yeah, so congratulations, Deb. You won the giveaway. You got a hat coming. You have that cool little alcohol ISO dip tray, and hopefully we still have those little CBD blunts for you there
I have
too.
no clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where they're at. So anyway, yeah, congratulations, Deb. We got another winner. We're gonna announce at the end of the show. I'll now be announcing the winner of the Justin Gallant giveaway, but we're gonna make
That
you.
sweet jar. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, and marble. Yeah.
Oh,
we're gonna
and a
make-
marble.
Yeah,
Damn.
totally. So we're gonna make you wait until the end of the episode to hear about that. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there.
So back to where you're at now. So you're living outside of Philly.
I live in Philly.
So and then you have your own personal shop at your house.
No, when I
That's
say
the
my
speakeasy.
studio, I mean
The
the
speak- that's what you
speakeasy,
call your personal
So like
shop.
I have 3 like assistance jobs where I'm like a hot shop assistant at Wheaton, and I work for Paul, and then I have like my full-time hot shop gig.
Hey, love it, dogs.
Everything like 3 out of my 4 jobs are shut down, so the studio is really all I got right now.
Where is everybody in your shops? Are they kind of abiding by that? I mean,
Well, honestly, Yiggs, if you're watching, I miss you.
Yeah, Yiggs.
Yiggs hurt his back, and he hasn't been in the shop for like, oh god, it's been like 10 weeks now. And then
wow, he really heard it.
yeah, and something with the discs. I don't remember exactly what happened, but
People when they slip this, how old is he? He's not even that old, is he?
he's like 30, I
Yeah,
think.
so he's young.
But
30 years old, you.
He's lugging that glass, right?
Yep.
Picking up them cases of glass, little guy. Trying to coming in with a mask on.
Yeah. Trying to make a dramatic entrance on it.
very dramatic. But yeah, and I don't know if you guys know Jay Gush, goes by Glass Engineering on Facebook.
I don't know him.
And John Randy, and I don't know if I said that right. And yeah, like Chris Rogers still set up in there, and
You say you don't work that much.
No.
Hey,
Sorry,
Chris.
Chris. If you're watching,
Slacking.
I'm calling you out right now. You gotta work more anyway. But
Well, how was the city in general when you left? I mean,
you know, like all the stores, like there's when we went shopping today, like there was so much more stuff in the stores around here than there was in Philly. And like just being in Philly just kind of made me like just not want to be in Philly. Like I was going to the shop in the studio or home in the shop, and that was it. And like just I like to be very active, and like I was trying to get used to it. I was just like, I couldn't do it because you're just like stuck in here, and like everyone's like looking at each other, like no one trusts each other, and like, but it's not
scary.
too bad. It's really not that bad yet.
I thought it was pretty bad in our town. I mean, when I went to the grocery store, everybody was just like they're like looking sideways and walking by you.
But like, I feel like the stores are more empty there.
We had a guy today that was just remember that? You know what I'm talking about? That guy was barely down.
He had a very weird attitude about him.
We didn't even talk about it until this moment, but yeah, he was weird. He just came down the thing like
it's like boom. I'm like, dude,
like I'm coming down this trial. Yeah, like,
get out of the way. Yeah. Here I come.
Pretty much. Yeah, that was intense.
What was that? It was traffic a lot better.
There was no traffic.
So
no traffic
pretty much just drive wherever and you don't have to wait through nothing.
No, but like they did have like the non-mandatory lockdown, which I don't really know too much about because they didn't really have a lot of information on. They were just like,
well, they're saying today
not mandatory restrictions.
They're gonna say they're doing a recommendation lockdown. Like they're not.
They
haven't actually officially came out and said, hey, you got to stay home. But they're pretty much.
But that's how my job got shut down. Is like the Monday before last Monday. They were like, okay, non-essential business by 5 p.m. today in Philly. Like you should shut down.
We also said your owner's fairly old. The owner of this hot shop.
Oh no, he's a younger dude. But like we do all the welding, fabricating, all the CNC stuff. Everything's done there. So there's like, I don't know, maybe 50 people that work there.
Oh,
total.
We only
like glass blowing is the only small part, but like all the rest of the furniture is all the rest of the furniture, welders, fabricators, patina people, wood stuff.
I guess that is you have a lot of exposure there.
Yeah, so and I mean it's a huge building, but it's when they were like non-essential, so like high-end furniture non-essential, so it gets shut down.
Yeah,
and we're still trying to figure out what's going on with. How we're all gonna live, like, while we can't, like, go to work and stuff.
But as far as glassblowers go, at least you technically have, like, the type of job that may qualify for some of the things.
That's true. I'd say scientific glassblowing is more likely that they would, like, have a need for it if, like, we don't have the resources to continue, like, hot glass.
Why was this
I meant more in the sense that you have an actual paid job as a glassblower.
Yeah, like a full-time gig.
Like with your full-time pomp job. If there is some type of benefit that
that's what I'm
people,
hoping for,
you actually have a self-employed people. I think you're gonna have a harder time pursuing that stuff.
It's gonna be tough.
Or again, it's just gonna be it's on them. They're not gonna have the infrastructure of like.
Well, they still haven't passed that bill yet.
They're just gonna do that for you, but
they still haven't passed the bill yet.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was talking to Sean Gold tonight, and he's paying attention to all that crap, and we pay attention too. But so now they're saying basically they're going by taxpayers, like so each taxpayer is gonna get to the point where they get so much money per person if you're registered and paid taxes last year. So, and then small businesses can take loans out, and the loans would be something that would be, you take the loan out, it's 0 interest. If you don't fire your employees or lay anybody off, it could turn into a grant. So you wouldn't have to pay that money back to keep their business afloat. So that's kind of how they're looking at it.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool though. A lot of small businesses are going to be suffering too.
Well, also with it's going to go down to the whatever you call it, like work. When you're not working or whatever, the people that are going to file for unemployment, so they'll get up to 4 months of full pay for 4 months.
Do you know if you have to file for unemployment to get that through?
If you're working in a job that offers unemployment, you have to file. Okay. So if you have a job that you could get unemployment at, then you should make that file, and then you would get on that list. For other people that are just working for, like, they don't have unemployment or whatever like that, then they could actually receive a check or whatever. So that's pretty much what I would be looking at, because like I said, I don't have unemployment. I might be able to get a check for $1,200 possibly. We'll see. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
So those seem to be like the options now.
Well, that's all in the bill that they're trying to pass. They still haven't passed it yet because both sides are trying to sneak in bullshit that shouldn't be in there. So
someone's gonna take advantage of it.
Somebody is going to take advantage. Well, they're both trying. I mean, I can see, the Republicans, they make their vote, and they shouldn't have voted right away. They tried to make that vote the very first night, and then they tried to spin it and say, oh, the Democrats didn't want to vote for the American people. They were trying to sneak in this corporate slush fund for $500 billion that basically only Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of Treasury, had the right to freaking distribute how he seen fit. And they were like, no, there has to be oversight on that. You can't just give these people money and then they can take that money and fire their employees and buy back stock. That doesn't work. Right. So that's kind of where that fell through. So now they basically say they're going to have a 5-person chair that's going to decide how that money gets distributed. It's not going to just be him. And, they won't be able to sell stock, won't be able to buy their own stock back right away and stuff like that. They have to keep their employees. And that's a big thing. I don't think we said it earlier. I don't think the cruise line should get bailouts. You know,
I don't even see why that's a thing. How is that even a thing?
If they don't even fly American flags on their boats, you know, they fly under different countries. I mean, if they're not paying taxes in America, they shouldn't be freaking getting bailouts. I don't know. There's so many things you could talk about in those bills, but there again, the Democrats were trying to sneak in like some kind of weird healthcare crap, which there again, we should have the healthcare for sure, but you can't just sneak it into a bill where it's like some kind of necessity thing that needs to happen. They're just trying to sneak in little things. You know,
I feel like that's
the kind of thing they're
going
to sneak in. I'm fine with them sneaking that in. In fact, I wouldn't sneak it in. I would put it very clearly like, this is
it was
the
for
position we're in right now is created by this fact.
Yeah.
If we had this type of healthcare plan right now, this would not be a stress that we're all experiencing. So it doesn't need to be a sneak-in thing. It should be like,
It actually, some of it had to do with they were trying to basically say that abortions were necessities. It was stuff like that. And there again, that's a whole nother bag of worms that you're going to open up, can of worms. Yeah. That's a whole other thing that they could talk about. But for this thing, you got to get it passed. So don't try to put something in there that you've been wanting to get done just to get it done. You know, that's what was happening. So, I mean, I see this thing on both sides. I mean, it's definitely a two-sided thing. But get it done and get everybody else happy, and then deal with that down the line, because that's one of those things that just needs to they need to talk about it. That's on them. That's nothing to do with us. We could talk about that shit for hours and hours and hours. So, all right. Well, what else you got? Anything else?
You know, I mean, I think we would be doing a disservice if we didn't try to dive into it a little bit, that this is our first female guest. And
we said it at the beginning.
I mean, I know that's what we said at the beginning, but if we don't kind of bite into some of that subject matter,
we did have Windstar on for like 5 minutes in a chart 2 years ago when we first started.
It still counts.
It does,
but it's not really.
No, it doesn't count as the first episode.
Not the full episode.
It doesn't count as an episode.
She was drinking a bottle of whiskey and getting on a plane in 10 minutes. Yeah, she was like, we love her, but like I said, she was like, I'm just drinking.
And then of course Suzanne Tipton was supposed to be on.
She was supposed to be,
but she lost her voice.
Yeah, she couldn't talk.
So I couldn't be more excited and proud that you're our first female artist, considering you were one of my students years ago.
Yeah.
And she's one of the persons that's helped us more than most other people, especially with Melt. I mean, you've done so much. I mean, well, we could talk about Melt real quick, what you do there. I mean, you started off as an intern. You paid the money. You came in. You were low level. You were like doing dishes, cleaning cabins, doing all that stuff. The next year, we made you staff. Josh took you. He's like, I want Patty right away. It's like, and you're pretty much one of the people in charge of everybody else, because you know what the fuck's going on.
You got to whip people in shape sometimes.
Right.
Well, now you're just like super rock star. Like when you're there, it's like, have a question. Oh, ask Patty. Well, you ran the.
I'm super excited about the games this year. I just want to make a little announcement about that. So the name is completely changed. Everything is going to be so much better this year. It's now called the Glass Gauntlet.
Oh, what, you didn't like my?
No, I'm just saying I feel like it's more appropriate just because of the nature of the games, and because I play with so many different kinds of glass. That's why I like to throw all these different things, and the real goal of it is to level the playing field between all these pipe makers that come to Mount, and they might even be demo artists, and then the guy that nobody knows that still blows glass. But when you're coming from something with you don't know how to approach it, it's really interesting to put people out of their elements. And can we talk about the Hellcats for a second? They had to use Hellcats. Who uses a Hellcat? Nobody.
Right. Nobody. Yeah.
So that it made me really happy.
It's
but
really cool. And
that levels the field.
You can be an artistic person. You can be a scientific person. You can be a soft glass person. You can be a boro person. And you have when you get to the Glass Gauntlet, you got to run the gauntlet.
That's
and do
what
everything.
I'm saying. So it's been a little disorganized in the past, but
it has not.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Emerging. Well, yeah, that doesn't make it unorganized. So it's I don't think you can say it's unorganized and I didn't know what I was doing. By the fact that you didn't know what you're doing, by definition, that's going to be unorganized.
Well, there's a learning curve.
Yeah, it's just
oh my God, I learned so much.
Melt is a learning curve. We've learned so much from year 1 to where we're going in year 5. And I mean, we can talk about that for a second. Just Melt. We don't know what's happening with that. I mean, the camp itself. We're going up to remodel cabins. We're supposed to go up at the very beginning of May. I mean, I've been talking to Brody, our boy. He was like, you can come up early. He thought the weather was going to change, but as of now, they know that they're losing all of their foreign.
Yeah, all their European.
So all their European
they're
people.
Need the money,
no, I don't know about that so much. They still want to do the remodeling stuff, but they're going to lose their camp. They're not going to have all the foreigners coming in that
Right.
would be there, and they're not going to have them for staff either. So they're banking on all of the people from like New York and like Connecticut and all those places. They're going to send their kids there for the summer. That be like, oh, I'm sick of my fucking kids. We're sending them to camp. So they're going to be on at least half capacity of what they normally would be. It's going to be a very small camp this year. So hopefully,
Is that good for us or bad for us?
I don't know for us in general. We don't know how everything. I mean, Salem got canceled. Champs is getting canceled. His event in Vegas got canceled. We can't know this until we haven't seen the apex of this disease yet, or this virus, of anything that's happened. We don't know how much bigger it's going to get and what it's going to do to the country. So
there were some serious estimates that this is going till August on types of the curve. But if we pull back in terms of like our, if we do pull back from in terms of isolation, it's just going to be hard to predict. We're not going to be able to make a real firm.
I mean, we're hoping by September,
to,
we should be in the clear where we can have our event. That's what we would love to say.
But until then, you don't really know.
Yeah,
we're going to still keep promoting it. We're going to keep it going. I mean, if shit happens, maybe
we'll have some hard looks at it in July and going into August, because obviously people need to be able to plan around it and things like that. But
it's definitely going to affect us. I mean, it's already affected like the way for a while there we were on an upward swing where everybody was getting their ticket deposits in. Everybody said it since all this started. I mean, we haven't had a single deposit. Nobody's making
payments.
No,
except for Doug Connor. Shout out to Decon.
He made a payment
on the Kiln, but at least he's making payments. Yeah, man. Respect.
But yeah, we'd love to see more people. I would love to say that it's going to happen. I mean, there's just no way for us to say.
There's the potential it could just be the fucking first event that gets to happen, and that could be epic. Then people are like, I'm fucking going to Melt. It's the first thing I can
fucking
do.
Ready.
Yeah,
it could help or it could hurt. I mean, it could be the point where nobody wants to leave their house still, or it could be, or everybody's like, we got to get the fuck out of the house. We're going to go party at Melt, which would be the best place to go because we got everything. Yeah. But we'll see. I feel confident. I feel like it should be good by then. And then there again, where would be a better place to go? In the middle of the fucking mountains and the nowhere, it's just like you'd be more secluded. You can keep your distance if you really wanted to be. You're all outside. Everything's outside.
Right. You even take a camper in a tent, you know, whatever.
I don't know how it's going to work. But as of now, we're still planning it. For the camp itself, for Melt, I mean, not for Melt, but for the independent lake camp, I mean, they're going to lose half their people for the summer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not
going to. But if they're still running,
if they do it, they think they're doing it right now. They're in the position that we're going to be that we're in right now, because we don't know if Melt's going to happen.
But there's a sooner.
They're trying to maybe operate on this. Like,
whether they have
June, like the beginning of June is when I think June 10th or 12th.
I guess you have a better idea if they actually run their stuff, and then we'll be like following that behind.
Well, I mean, again, seriously, you guys think that in 30 days they're gonna put fucking if it's even half the kids, they're gonna put 2 months. They're gonna put 1,000 kids together.
No,
well, they won't.
Not at all.
He said I suppose it'd be way less. The average camp's 600
very
kids.
Skeptical of
600 kids per average camp. So if it'd be half that, 300.
If they lighten up stuff and say like, oh yeah, groups of 25 maybe.
It'd be like Melt. It'd be like 300. It'd be like 250, 300. It'd be like a melt for them.
Yeah, it'd be 200 and and at that point, running their camp on a 200, 300 people isn't even. I mean, their staff is down to like 10% of what they probably need, and so it's definitely not going to be the same.
I'm sorry, I have to pee.
Oh, this is when we talk shit about people.
Okay.
This is part of our.
Right, what can we do? Because I had to pee really bad, but I've been holding back because I was like, I don't want to be a weak ass bitch going pee.
No, that's all you do is go with the flow.
Sitting here just like my back teeth are floating, but I was like, no.
Oh, really? You gotta go?
Oh, yeah. I was sitting here a while ago just like, oh, I made a mistake today. I did not pee enough before this episode. And I cut, but I like, and then like, am I going to try to shorten this episode?
We got Kreiner in the back here. We could probably start putting catheters in.
Oh, yeah, fucking throw on a catheter. You got a mask in case there's any splashback. But yeah.
Oh, he just got off work.
Yeah. Does that mean you're contagious? Because I thought that's what a mask meant, was that you're contagious. Okay, good.
Shout out to Kreiner's behind us here.
Shout out to Kreiner.
Wearing his mask.
Yep.
He's a medic, and he's out doing his job.
Totally.
Which is cool.
Yeah, shout out to everybody out there doing their job at this hard time. I have to, this is the time where a lot of people that, they're out there having to grind. Everybody's like complaining about being home. There's another huge
I see. My wife has to go up. She has to wake up and go in. Like she had to go to a prison.
She has to wake up at noon and go. She loves it.
She loves that.
Her whole schedule changed. She's like, I'm working 1 to 9. I love it.
They broke the work up. So normally her schedule's like I said 8 to 5:30 or 8 to 5 or whatever. or I don't know how that works. 8:30, 8 to 4:30. Sorry, that's her schedule. So now, since this stuff's happened, and they separated the nurses because they need more people there, more time. So she's working from 1 to 9 at night now, which she normally doesn't get them to like 10, 10:30. She stays a little later each day.
Yep.
And she's on call pretty much all the time.
Totally.
But everybody else, they're these people working their asses
Well, hey,
off.
maybe I should use this time that Pat's not here to announce that other winner for the Justin Gallant giveaway. I'm just gonna bring it up on my phone because I picked this right before the episode, and I just wanted it. I didn't want to have to do an on-air pick, but here we go. The winner is Katie_Sarah_Tay. You are the winner of the Justin Gallant Nuggifier and Marble. So
that's a good hookup.
That's a nice
That's like a
win.
solid $200 prize.
So Katie, I hope you're watching these episodes because that's how you're gonna know you win.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, that thing's gonna get some nugs shoved into it in about 5 weeks here if it's still on the shelf.
We're gonna keep it
And
ourselves.
we'll send you pictures of magnified nugs. Yeah. So congratulations, Katie. I know you're a big fan of the show. So yeah, go ahead and send us your info, and you're gonna have a nice jar of marble coming to you.
All right.
So,
Well,
yeah.
like I said, what else anything else we want to talk about for this show?
Well, I still.
Who do you want?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be forcing this to say it again, but again, you have like a female artist here.
You wanna ask
Your
her
question was about Mel, which is very kind of self-serving.
Oh, whatever.
But the question was kind of like, oh, maybe. But I mean, again, it feels forced at this point to be like, oh, give us a woman's perspective on this.
Oh, I don't know if we have that kind of time.
I
to
know,
be
that's-
honest with you.
I
And like,
know.
I don't know if I have the same kind of female perspective as every other female glassblower that I know. Like,
You have some takes on it. I mean,
I do have some
maybe
takes.
even if it was like some generalized thing, like what I mean, come up. You couldn't have got equal. I mean,
Okay.
I mean a blank.
To
What's the difference between a male glassblower in this industry and a female glassblower? And that I know that's super broad order.
So
take an
the
aspect.
difference between a male glassblower and a female glassblower is literally nothing. It's all about, for me, like, if we're gonna generalize like every opinion that I have on this, which is quite a few.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about integrity.
Yes.
It's about the integrity of your work. For me, it's all about the glass. All that other shit is bullshit. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like
Absolutely.
being a female in this industry, like whether it's pipe making or like what I was talking about, it's different being a woman in the pipe making industry versus being a woman in soft glass industry.
You don't find the need to put on busty T-shirts and
I feel no need to do that. You know,
like show your cleavage and be like, check me out.
There's
Look at this
there's
pendant.
women that do that.
Oh, there's
and
tons of women that do
I
that.
do respect that, but like that's just not where I'm at. And like
Wait a
that's
second, you do respect that?
I do, yeah. Women make their own choices. Like if they want to use their sexuality to sell some pendants or whatever it is that they're doing, like I'm not hating on that, but like that's not me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
well, that's
so
again
it's
like the way you answer that. You could just you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't hold that against anybody that did
I
that,
don't
male
hold
or
it.
female.
I
It's not
don't
a-
hold it
again,
against
that's not
anyone.
about
You
Like,
could
male
let
female.
your work speak for itself, and you
That's
could,
what I
you
try
could
to
make
do.
a nice piece of glass and then show your boobs,
And
but
they can be totally separate, and that's
you would
fine.
see. But
you
I'm
know?
saying you would see a lot of the. I think this is where a lot of people have the problem. They see these new glassblower women that they're like, oh, they make something that they've been working for
They
like
make
2
the one
weeks,
thing, yeah.
and there's like just some crappy little thing that's all janky. It's like you can't sell that, but if you put your boobs in front of it, you can sell that.
Totally. So like the difference between like pipe making also is like being a pipe maker, you know, as a woman, everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
Being in the soft glass world, being a woman, nobody's looking at you because they
What
don't
do
even
you-
give you the time of day. Think you're like just. It's
Okay,
like,
so what you mean by that is that
There's, like-
soft glass women are just dismissed as not being
Just,
contributing to it.
it's not that simple, but generally like that's kind of like the vibe you get. Like just being a woman, you kind of have to insert yourself into the hot shop. If you know you can do something, you have to go and prove it. Like no one's gonna offer you this position to be like, oh, you think you can do this? It's like, no, I know I can do this. If I fuck it up, like whatever. But like if I do it, then they know.
But you think there's a different standard for men, that men just get like a blanket, like, oh,
Well,
well,
it's
you're a
difference-
man, so
I'm
I'm
not saying
a...
it's any more fair for men because
Well, it's a more
in
physical
then that-
job. It's a
how
more
does that
physical
make
job.
it-
It is.
And a lot of women are a little girly.
That's true.
You know, and it's like you get these girls that are flashing their boobs and showing their things
I'm not
and
saying
painting their nails.
the stereotypes aren't for no reason, but just like like I said, when it comes down to its integrity, if you care about what you do, like, and the quality of your work ethic, like everything like that, it might take longer for you to like put yourself into a position where you're like proud of where you're at, but like you're more proud if you keep your integrity all through that position. Eventually, like people will notice quality,
Nice.
whatever it is.
Right.
That's my take.
And that's what it should be, right?
It's what it should be, because like men have it men have it unfair in the same way, just like they're like completely oversaturated with men, so men have to work 10 times harder to stand out when a woman doesn't have to have any skill and they can stand out like that, no problem, with no skill.
Nice.
But a skilled male
Nice.
has to
Props.
work harder to just
Give it up.
Thanks. I'm just saying it's unfair for men as well, but it's
Yeah,
it's just
unfair
different.
for us. We get fucked. We're like screwed here, man. We're like the ones that are like screwed. White guys
I
like
think
us.
you just set back the women's movement by giving him that argument.
I'm
just so
not
you know
okay.
that.
Let's say one more thing about this whole feminism thing. I'm not about that feminism thing.
Can't wait for my wife to see
that's
this.
fine. I'm
about
you're about
equality.
equality, and I appreciate
Let's
that.
talk
Yeah, yeah.
equality. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Feminism's now, it's like I read these things and I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, you're trying to be better, and it's like it's not about being better. It's just like literally just
Equality.
Let's make
chilling.
it, yeah.
Can we just
Like Bill Burr.
evaluate everybody equally on their own individual.
like I said, like
integrity
men
and-
have it rough in different ways.
Yeah.
It's like Bill
know?
Burr said. He's just like, if you want equality, he's just like, whenever that boat starts singing, I want to see you standing there with me with a guy playing the cello. He's like, don't be like, oh, I gotta get off the boat. He's like, you take turns. One guy, one woman. One guy, one woman.
I think there's a comparison that, like, I think foreign artists, like especially Japanese artists, get like a pass on doing stuff, and maybe women get a pass. Asian Japanese artists can totally start doing similar work to an American, and it's fine. And I almost feel like a up and coming female artists can also kind of
Anything kind of
appropriate
everything
stuff.
is kind of stolen from something. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
not my point. That's not my point.
Okay.
You're totally missing my point.
Sorry.
I was saying, like, I'm trying to make this like more about like there's certain categories where you can get a pass, and maybe you're saying that women coming in don't have to be as good. They're getting a pass because they're women versus being really so they're actually getting a real short end of the stick if you look at it, because they're getting a pass and their work's not as good.
That, I mean, it can be construed at that, but there is like a lot of like absolutely amazing female glassblowers
That's not
out
getting
there
recognized.
that either won't get recognized or do. And I mean, it's different for everybody, and it's about like, for me, I'm looking at the work, like, and then like if I meet you in person, like we get along, like that's even better.
Yeah,
but
that's-
like really, what I'm looking at is the work. And
yeah.
so I mean, there's more female glassblowers than there ever have been, really, and we're not just fucking bead ladies anymore. And
totally.
it's like this. I don't know. It's changing slowly, but just like any other male-dominated industry, just like welding and shit, you know.
What's your
it's all part of the
What's your
process.
biggest gather on a pipe that you're picking up?
That I've done before, or that
Yeah.
I've dropped on the floor? I've taken gathers so big that I literally cannot get them out of the furnace, and then it just like you try to pull this giant gob out, and it just like scrapes the side, and it was a big mess. Ton of fun. Love it. Yeah.
Nice.
I like making large scale work, but I also like making small scale work. You gotta be versatile, you know.
Well, that's the best thing about soft glass. Large scale. The bigger you can get.
And when I'm on the pipe, like working larger amounts of glass is easier for me than smaller amounts, because you have to have so much like little finesse. And then when you're making something this big on the end of a 5-foot pipe, it's like, why am I not doing this on the torch right now? And that's where like when flame working skills meet up with hot shop skills, and you can like kind of combine them together. And
What is that?
That was just the charger out of
Oh,
the.
We got dogs everywhere. We'll have to pull the puppy out and
But
show her
yeah.
off.
For sure. Well, you can do that in our roundup. That's
Alright.
what we already made a plan on that one.
Cool. But yeah, no, yeah. I mean, just it doesn't matter if you're male, female.
Yeah.
If you love what you do, you just keep killing it and like practice
I just remember
quality. Like be hard on yourself. Like
Totally,
that's
yeah.
really what it's about for
be
me. And it
committed
doesn't
to
matter.
just being to judge yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
like what gender you are.
Totally.
To me, that doesn't matter.
No, that's good news. I just when you were out. Of course, Patty was my TA for my class. You know, the other week at Carlisle, and she was amazing. Can't thank her enough again for that. But I just remember you were talking to a female in the class, kind of giving her a little bit of, you know, like your perspective on stuff. And I thought that was, you know,
I only have a little bit, but
yeah.
I'm happy to share what I got.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm glad that you have.
puppy, shut up.
What up, babe?
We got puppies everywhere.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
Oh no, are we good? You feeling?
About these.
Oh, we didn't talk about the tool.
Oh shit! Real quick.
Oh, shit,
Dropping tools. So, yeah, we usually do. We haven't done it in a while because we've been busy talking about so much other stuff. But Patty brought us some tool of the week.
Focus on these marble finishing tools right here. These are like my favorite things. This is Miles Parker makes these. I think there's a couple different sizes, and this is Smith Custom glass tools.
Nathan Smith, Smith Custom. Yeah.
I never actually bought these. I won these in that marble competition
Oh,
that
cool.
one time.
Wow.
So like I was looking forever because there wasn't a name on this thing.
Oh, yeah,
I was trying to figure out who made it. But anyway, these are like my favorite.
So what's this for?
This is like for finishing marbles and like punny marks and stuff. I don't know if you can see.
When you're holding the marble in here, if the punny mark's out and you get that hot, you can come in here with this little
Heat
hand
up and just
shaper
kinda
And you like
smooth it out
start
instead of having-
from the cold spot and you just like move it down and it.
I think it's
You know,
in tandem. These tools are pretty cool.
Yeah, this
And,
is great for like
yeah.
I don't know, like a 1.5 to 2 inch marble.
That's your
and then
finishing to hold the marble to put
I
it
just
away.
hold it with it instead of using like the grabbers and like I got these before I had my hand torch set up, so it just like made it so much easier to get this tiny little flame and then you go around your mark and then you can just kind of
I've seen him put those tools out. I've met Miles before. Like I said, that's a cool tool. It's
he has smaller ones.
It's such
too.
a simple design. I mean,
It's
really
perfect
what it
though,
is,
because
but
like
I mean,
it doesn't stress the marble out by like holding it with like the hemostats. They do work, but like I just like the
it's a
feel of
better.
these.
These are better grab. I mean, obviously I'm a tool junkie, but these are ones that I'd seen before and I wasn't sure. But you had them at the class. Another student had them. They were really useful. I'm definitely
Super
going to be.
useful.
I'm going to be getting a pair of these for myself.
yeah, I'd
for
like
sure.
to have some for the shop. They'd be good to have. We'll have to
Yeah.
reach out to him.
And
Maybe
this
we
is
could
really awesome for
talk him
punny
into
marks.
giving a one for a giveaway.
Yeah,
we'll
totally.
promote
Maybe,
him.
yeah, we'll do another promotion for it and bring some stuff in. So yeah,
That's
very
good.
cool tool. Nice marble fishing stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
One more time, we'll give a shout out. We want to get you to send us the questions. Put us in for, just send us anything you want to talk about. We'd love to get some more content. Mailbag at breakingglass.show. Our website's breakingglass.show. Instagram, breaking_glass_podcast. And Facebook, Breaking Glass Show. Just send us anything you want to hear. Like, whatever you want to talk about. Do you have any ideas for a show? We're talking about anything we can come up with in ideas. I have a buddy that's starting a CBD online cooking show. We thought we'd reach out to him and maybe try to do a podcast where
we'll do something
we do our own little cooking show with him. But we'll try to come up with something different ideas.
And I hate to drag out the show at the last minute, even though we're kind of wrapping it up. But we did have somebody send in a question for Patty, and since I asked for that, I want to honor it.
All right.
I asked people last night if they had any questions for you, and this one was from Justin Gallant. Just real quick, Justin, you'll know what I'm talking about, and it's Todd, Josh, Kevin. And then the question, second question, what was your favorite level up moment in your personal glass carrier? But I think you meant career.
That's a really great question.
Yeah, well, yeah. Got a moment where you just kind of felt like you had
So
that.
when someone clicked,
Yeah.
I think the first thing that I was like super excited about clicking was the fact that I could make something on a torch and then stick it on something in the hot shop later.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like sculpting at the pipe or whatever, and just like combining flame working and furnace work is like all I care about, like level up. But the other thing that I like felt that click moment, like I felt it, was like when I started really doing those in Colmo pieces. Mm-hmm. And then just like building a tube out of cups and then like working that in and doing that so many times, it just like
became natural.
that definitely clicked.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a couple times when Brian was yelling at me for some clicked, and I'm just a better glass
I think
blower now.
for flame working for me, I can tell a big difference when I got a front loading kiln.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
Level up.
it changed like how I was blowing glass before that, because I had an octagon kiln with a little door, but I had like for pieces with handles, I had to like open the door, slide it down in, and stick it in. And then after I got that front loading, I was like, what the fuck have I been doing my whole life? I was like, this is like retarded.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a moron. It's hand torch. Another thing. I mean,
big game
I
changer,
fought
yeah.
that forever.
I did too.
I mean, I just
Wow.
fought it. I just like, no way, fuck that. I can work around this motherfucker. I was like, I have no problems. And then
game
I got a
changer.
hand torch and was like,
Why the fuck did
I'm
I
a
ever
fucking
do that?
idiot.
Yeah.
Look at me, everybody. I'm just standing here. It was there. So there's two big things that I can think in my life: hand torches, front loader kiln.
Yeah.
They definitely changed my whole game in glass blowing.
And I don't
What
think
about you?
I don't think she could answer the question about why she's so amazing. But if you have an answer,
Oh no, he did not say
he
that.
did say that. Why he's so amazing.
Sorry.
Well,
Anyway.
thank you, Patty. It's so great to have you on the show.
Yeah, we're
But
super
we need-
psyched.
Yeah, this was fun.
And now we're gonna get out in the
Cheers.
shop
Oh, you don't
tonight
have a
and make
drink,
Killer
but
collab.
First lady.
First lady of Breaking Glass. Thank you.
And then we're gonna go work
That's
with her,
title.
and we're gonna make some cool stuff. So,
Cool.
Yeah. that'll be fun.
all right. Well, hey, there again. We thank you all for coming in. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands.
Keep your distance.
Keep your distance. And like I said, one more. We'll
Nope,
do that.
we're
We'll
gonna
do it
we're
later.
going
We'll do it on the
around.
thing. But hey, well, thanks everybody, and we will see you next time.
All
Thanks.
right.